All right, Heather, every time I see the scale go up, every time I feel this is hard, I just quit. I stop doing it. And then I come back to it later and I usually have gained weight, probably most case scenario. How come I keep doing this? So I see so many people struggle with this. They get something spit back to them that they don't like. And instead of being resilient, instead of just pushing through and doing the work, they cave, they quit the process, and then they ultimately backslide. And I was talking to a teacher the other day, and I said, it's interesting because we don't do that to students, right? If you thought about it, you have a kid, he's enrolled in school, and you find out maybe he's got some learning disabilities or he's not capable of doing certain things at this level. We do not take that child and remove them from the process of being educated. We take their standardized tests, we evaluate where they are, and then what we do is we have benchmarks. We have places we check back in to see if the kid is making progress from their starting point. So if I'm looking at a graph, right, I would see maybe he starts out here and over time his graph is increasing or getting better, but it's based on his abilities when he first starts. We don't pull him out and say, I'm sorry, where you're starting or the fact that you struggled a little this year means now you're being removed from education. Like as parents, we would be up in arms about this. We'd be like, oh my gosh, you can't do that to a child. They have all the potential, the possibility. Why would we rob them of an education? So why do you do it to yourself? Quite frankly, like when you stop a process and you flounder a little bit, or you are struggling to make progress, or maybe where you are right now is far removed from where you want to be, and you are making baby step changes and you're losing small amounts of weight. If I look at you through the 12, like say we stay with the same analogy here, this kid starts in kindergarten, graduates at 12th grade. Over 12 years, are you telling me that this kid who maybe starts out on the lower end of the spectrum is not going to show improvement over time if he shows up, he does his assignments, he's actively engaged in the educational process? Of course he is. He's not going to be the same student in 12th grade that he was at kindergarten. He is going to show progress over time. You're in the exact same boat with your personal goals and weight loss. Over the course of 12 years, 2 years, 3 years, if you stay consistent with the process, you show up, you track the food, you go for the walk, you meal plan, you grocery shop, you try to get in more fruits and vegetables, lean proteins, you do all of these things, limiting alcohol, treats, eating out experiences. You're telling me over 2, 3, 5, 12 years, you're not going to see improvement? You absolutely are. Because this kid doesn't get pulled out of the process, he stays in it, guess what? He improves. You stay in the process, you don't get pulled out of it, guess what? You improve. We have to start to change our thinking about all of this. You think you should be a certain place, but that's not where you are. You think you should get certain amount of change over time, but that may not be the reality. So you're going to have to change your entire view of this. There will always be holidays. There will always be birthdays, there will always be vacations, there will always be things that are going to disrupt it. You need to learn to coast through that. You need to learn to go to your minimums and not necessarily expect yourself to be at that preferred status. You need to push through because year after year, consistent work at this goal will produce results. But if you pull yourself out of the process, just like pulling a child out of the educational experience, and when I say educational experience, this could even be homeschooling. It doesn't matter. But if you were to say, you know what, Bobby, sorry, you didn't make the kind of progress this year we thought. No more education for you. Let's tear up the library card. Let's stop reading. Let's stop doing math reviews because you, my friend, are just a lost cause. We're never going to get there. Could you imagine that conversation? Like nobody would do that, right? Even if you're not a parent, you'd be like, no, you would never do that. So why is it we do that to ourselves? Because you don't see it as a process. You think there's a point at which this all stops. It doesn't. You think there's a point at which you'll have it all figured out. You won't. You're going to continuously be learning tweaking, improving. You're never going to stop the process. Even if this kid graduates high school, he's still going to go on and need to be further educated, whether it's even just training for his job. So the point I'm trying to make to you is, instead of thinking that you should be somewhere you're not, or that you should have a certain ability that you don't, enjoy the process, do the work, show up every day. You will be further along than you are now if you don't stop. Now, like and subscribe to me on YouTube, and let me know how I can better help you in the comments. Take care of yourself.